Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Maniacs TV. I'm your host Brenton. Today I am joined by the drummer extraordinaire from Simple Plan, Chuck. How you going?
What's up, bud? You all right?
Doing very well.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a thrill to be sitting next to one of my formative musical influences, I must say.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Drummer, transitioned to singer because of Simple Plan.
Oh, wow. Well, that's funny. Our singer also plays drums, and we swap. So there you go.
There you
That's
go, bit
even
of
more
a
in common with Simple Plan. I love it. Well, thank you for the
indeed.
kind words. Thank you for listening, and I appreciate that.
No worries. I mean, I kind of made a smart career choice, right? Because like I don't have to carry things upstairs.
Smart. You let the other people carry your stuff.
That's it.
I get it.
Now, we are backstage here at your Australian tour, which I believe is the biggest headline run of your career in
Yeah,
Australia.
certainly one of the biggest. Yeah, it's been amazing. Doing this venue, John Cain Arena in Melbourne, sold out weeks in advance. Like I mean, you can never ask for more. We're doing 2 nights in Sydney at the Horton. So yeah, it's been wonderful.
Absolutely incredible. And to think that you're this far into your career and you're setting new records, that must feel quite nice, I'd
Yeah,
imagine.
it is. It's quite a moment for the band. It feels like we're sort of on this kind of ascending uh, kind of trajectory of for the band, and it's been really exciting. It's really cool to 22 years into our career after the band is has it's been around for 25 years. Before the first record, we were like for 3 years trying to put the band together. So you're talking like 25 years, and we're feeling like we're getting bigger, which is kind of weird. It's since the pandemic, since we came back from the pandemic, it's been like the shows and the tours have been getting bigger and selling out, and just really grateful, kind of just enjoying that because it's like almost like this second moment in our career, like So and I think as you get older, we have family now, so we have kids. It's really cool to not be like, hey, like we used to have a band, we used to be pretty popular. Like now, it's like we're still here and we're still doing it, and I think it's really cool to be able to share that with our kids, with our families, and everything, and it just makes it so much more fun and so much more like motivating as a band.
That's awesome. What are the kids like? What are their reactions like to seeing, dad up on these massive arena stages?
Yeah, it's funny. My son loves like hanging out with the crew, and he's actually just flew in, so he landed yesterday, and he loves to help. So like he loves to like bring me all the waters, and and he loves to like bring towels and set up with the crew guys and everything. So he's not really like I don't think he's like I think it's I'm not sure if he's fully kind of realizing what's happening and all that. Like, but I think that he just loves to be a part of it, just to be there.
That's really cool. Like, and
Yeah.
what nice, close sort of formative memories you're managing to set there with your kid. Like, it's not often that people get the chance to engage in those sorts of cultural experiences.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is the travel. That's what we're having the most fun with. Like last year, we went to Japan together, so we did the Japanese tour with my wife and him, and so he gets to go. Like I went to Japan when I was 24, so he's going when he's 7 or 8 years old. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a chance, and now he's in Australia, and we went to Germany the year before that, and so it's seeing the world. For me, that's really where the value is. Obviously, it's fun to be able to not be away because we've been going pretty hard this year, especially like since we started. So being gone, sucks for him, for me, for everybody. So I think that the idea is like, hey, you know what? Like since the pandemic ended, it makes you reflect on everything, and it made me realize that I'm like, hey, if I'm gonna keep doing this and keep touring and keep traveling, I want everybody to share into that, and I want everybody to kind of benefit from it, not just me. So that's the idea, and we're having a lot of fun, and we're seeing all kinds of things. Like in Australia, we're gonna obviously do like in Brisbane, like the koalas and kangaroos and all that, and that's gonna be amazing. And go see Sydney. Like I just think walk around Melbourne, just to see just like a different place, right? I
Yeah.
think and also I think it's cool for him to see the shows, to realize that there's real hard work that goes into it. There's people that get in the morning and put on the stage and put on all the instruments, and he sees that we're working hard. We're doing interviews, and we're doing like social media content, and we're doing like meet and greets with our fans, and so that it's not just like easy. That there's a lot of work that goes into it. So I think that has value as well.
It does. And speaking on the longevity of the band and the formative influence aspect, we are approaching some very big anniversaries for a lot of bands this year.
Right.
Some of the biggest breakthrough records of all time. You've got
Hmm.
things like Smash and Dookie are both turning
Yeah,
30. Makes me
incredible.
curious, what was the formative influence for you as a musician? What made you want to get into?
Wow. Well, it's funny. There's a band that's also doing like a farewell tour right now that I was very important for me. No Effects. That was one of the first bands I discovered. But if I really bring it back to the beginning, the first like rock band that I really fell in love with is probably Guns N' Roses. So that was huge. And then I went into like Pearl Jam and grunge. So that was a moment. That was my first real show as Pearl Jam in Montreal when they just had like Even Flow and like Alive out. That's it. Jeremy wasn't even out, so it's pretty early on their first record. I got to see them, and I remember just thinking like, wow, this is magical. Like I went with my dad. I was probably 13 years old, and it was like, oh my God, this is what I want to do. Like I want to play shows. And then pretty quickly, I was listening to this radio show in Montreal, and they played this song called like American Jesus by Bad Religion, and that was a game changer, life changing. Right away, I was like, whoa, what is? I remember it was like 11 p.m. I was in my bed. What is this song? Who is this band? And I bought the record, and then I started working my way through the entire like Fat Record, Epitaph catalogs, every band, No Effects, Time for Pull, Lagwagon, Strung Out. All these bands became like our influences. So Pierre and I were in a band called Reset before Simple Plan. So we started that when we were 13 years old, and right away when we heard these bands, we're like, we're gonna do punk rock music, and that became like our obsession. So we did that, and then as the years went by, bands like Offspring came out, and Green Day, and Pennywise, and eventually Blink, and so those are like, and Offspring. Offspring was one of the first punk band that we discovered as well because Pierre was really into snowboarding, and they had their song Session on all the snowboarding movies, right? So we discovered them, and the rest was history. And now, last summer, we just did a full U.S. tour with the Offspring, which is incredible. We got to tour Australia with Green Day. We get to play. We did Punk Springs in Japan with Bad Religion. So we get to play with literally every single band that was like influential that changed our lives. You know, we get to meet them, we get to play with them. So it's been kind of full circle. We even I was in Las Vegas at the Punk Rock Museum and met Fat Mike. Well, we had met him before, but got to hang out with him a bit more. So it's kind of like, yeah, really lucky to be able to play with our idols and be able to be a part of the same scene, you know?
That's awesome. And you're speaking my language. I like all of those artists. So,
Sick, yeah,
so it's
man.
quite a,
Yeah,
it's
that
quite,
was that's our teenage years, you know?
yeah. And of course, you played an important role in a lot of other people's teenage years. And doing tours like this is probably giving you the opportunity to engage with those people and see the impact because they're bringing their children with them to concerts.
We are starting to see that, which is kind of like a bit crazy to me. Like it feels like surreal because it doesn't feel like it's all that stuff like our first record and feels like yesterday, but it's 22 years ago, you know. So now we're seeing fans that are bringing their kids. Like there was a kid at Soundcheck that was like 13 years old, and we asked him like, "Do you want to be here?" Is that where your mom's dragging? He's like, "No, you're my favorite band." And he goes like, "I've been listening to you for my entire life." And I was that is amazing. You're 13 years old, but I love it. Um, it's been really cool, honestly. And then we meet bands that are like, man, like you're the reason why I'm playing drums, or you're like, you know, your band was super important to us. So it's um, it's really cool. And even if it's not a band, even if it's just like a regular fan, they share stuff like, you know, I went through a surgery and I listened to your song the whole time for my recovery, and it helped me so much. And some people will share like, you know. I went through a really dark time in my life, and your songs saved me. And at first, you hear that, and you kind of ask yourself, like, okay, are they exaggerating? Is it really true? But then you hear it multiple times, and from every country that we go to, we hear the same story. So it has become kind of I'm just really grateful that our music has been an important part of people's lives, and that it has helped people. I mean, that's the ultimate compliment as a band that you can hear. So it's been really quite special, and to see that a whole new generation is coming into it and is enjoying it, it's been really fun.
That's so nice to hear. And now you're in a position where you can kind of pay it forward in terms of your impact on other bands too. So, for example, on this package tour, you have some bigger names like Boys Like Girls and We the Kings, bands that have been to Australia before and done things. But you, of course, have Jax playing with you, who you've got the song Iconic out with.
Yeah.
What's it been like sharing shows and this experience with a young artist?
It's been super cool. We tried to make an effort because when we first came out, a lot of bands helped us. Like Blink, was so instrumental in getting our career off the ground. Like Mark sang on Not Do Anything with us, and it was such a gift. He didn't have to do it, and he did it, and he took us on the road and everything. So I think we tried to carry that same philosophy and try to bring out younger artists. I think it's exciting for us to see what they're doing and bring them to use our audience or our platform, whatever, to kind of help younger artists. And Jax, we've met randomly in LA, like kind of run into her, and we're aware of her because of our TikToks and how big she was on that. And we just thought it would be super cool to do a song together, to be able to collaborate and then bring her on tour. And then I don't know if you saw, but she posted like an amazing message this morning saying how awesome it was to be on this tour and how welcome she felt. And that's really how we want artists that tour with us to feel. We want them to feel like when they come on the road with us, they're feeling comfortable. They're feeling like they belong. Because that's how every artist should feel when they're on a tour. So that was really nice for me to read that, and because this is what we believe is important for us to do as a band. Show respect and try to turn our fans on to new artists that we like. So that's kind of the idea.
Awesome. Couple of quick ones before we finish up this bit. First one is asked this of every guest that talks to Maniacs. Outside of music, what are you a maniac for? What can't you get enough of?
I like a lot of things, but I really like sports. I love hockey, golf, and tennis. Well, hockey, I'm Canadian. But golf and tennis, so it was really cool to play here tonight because I know that this is where the Australian Open happens. So I've never been here. I really want to come back and actually just attend. So that'll be really cool. I'm trying to think of what else. I love art. My wife is owns an art gallery, so we're really into that. And what else? I love reading. That's maybe not like I'm not maniac about reading, but yeah. So these are kind of, I would say these are my interests. There's more, but traveling, I love traveling. And food, good restaurant. Like I'm really into that.
You've come to a good place for good coffee, good restaurants.
I know, you're right. It's good. Everywhere in Australia is amazing.
Indeed, not playing favorites, smart, political, well done. Now, another one. If you were able to have any song play when you enter a room, like you're John Cena or Kevin Owens, or Sami Zayn, what would be your choice and why? What says, hey, I'm Chuck, pay attention?
Wow, I have not given this a lot of thought ever in my entire life. I don't think it's possible that it would happen, but wow, I need to think about it. That is a tough question. A theme song for me?
Yeah, for you.
I don't want to sound cocky, and I'm trying to think. My quick. Well, tell me some answers that people gave you that were good while I think about it.
We've had everything from the Bee Gees to someone said that 333 song. It's just silence.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I would do that. You know what? I would say. Oh, I know. Okay, I got it. Fort Minor. That song. What is it called? Their biggest song, like. Remember the Name, right?
Yep.
It's because it's about hard work. I think that's how I see it. Hard work and perseverance, and I think that's what I try to bring to my career in the band and everything. It's just kind of like I'm not the most talented drummer, I'm not the most talented musician or songwriter, but the one thing I'll put in is a lot of effort.